Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So no, you're not deceived. This is actually a Amazon Fire phone. And I'll tell you in a little short brief tale here after I get it unboxed why I purchased it. So, here we go. This phone has been described as one of the worst phones to hit the market. And I won't know until I actually use it myself. Okay, sorry for all this vibrating. I got tons of messages coming in. But I won't know until I use it myself. So this is obviously the 32 gig unlocked version. I didn't read up on this phone very often until recently. It actually has dual Dolby surround sound speakers. There's a ton of things that probably make this a great phone. But I don't bother what the critics say. They say it's horrible. I say, well, you know what I say. Buy it and use it yourself and you'll find out. So here we go. And voila, this is actually a pretty small device. It's weird, but small. It's got several cameras, like 6 cameras or something like that on it for the dynamic thing or whatever. All that glass, I probably need to buy a case. In here, this is probably the sync cable. Yeah, it's a sync cable in there. And in here, it's probably going to be some headphones and a charger. Okay, I don't need those because I have an Anchor. So let's put all this in here. Let's just get to the phone. Let's put the firebox away. And I'm going to go ahead and power on. Now let me, I keep it real, so I don't really need to go over the specs though. I think it's got like a 4.7 inch display, 160 grams. I can feel those 160 grams for such a small device. LED flash, secondary microphone back there, 8 megapixel on the back. Speakers here and here looks like. Or here's a speaker, and here's a speaker, and one of those is for microphone hidden behind there. Sync cable, glass on front and back, headphone up top, power button. And this is your Amazon little fire button thing there. And that's the volume rocker. So let's power on and see the initial startup. I got some juice. So we'll see if the Fire phone is actually a bad phone. Nice little animations on the boot. This box is so small. I see everyone unboxing this phone and it looks like a huge box, and it's actually not. It's a super small box. I was kind of shocked by that. I was like, wow, this is a small box. So we are gonna let it, oh, it's looking away, here we go. Okay, so here's the boot up screen. Just a few languages on here. I'm pretty shocked about that. Not very many. Yeah, just a few languages. Okay, so we're going to United States next, and skip SIM card, and let's go Central next, and let me connect to my Wi-Fi. I'll be right back. As you can see here, it actually connects to the 5 gigahertz band. I didn't know that. Didn't do much research on it, like I said. But it does connect to 5 gigahertz, so that's really nice. So we're going to go next. It's probably going to tell me to sign in. Oh, so I guess it already got me. Okay. I don't know how it picked up my Amazon information, but okay. Let's enable backup since. Yeah, we'll definitely enable that. And we'll sign into these. All right, so it's signing in and everything is there. And we're gonna get a fire up. I don't need this right here. And welcome. So I'm gonna start this interactive guide.
Fire phone is the world's first smartphone with responds to how you hold it, look at it, and use it. Try moving your phone around to see it in action.
And this is totally in 3D. It probably doesn't, I don't know how it looks on camera. I guess I'll check it after I shoot this video, but definitely some of the best 3D information I've ever seen on the device.
A center screen, a left panel, and a right panel. The center screen puts your activities and content in focus. On home, everything you do, read, and watch shows up on the center screen's carousel. Every carousel item displays updates and information like your recent emails and latest photos, so you can easily switch tasks without ever launching an app. Speaking of apps, to see them all, simply swipe up on the 4 icons below the carousel and swipe back down to return to the carousel. Moving from center screen to the left and right panels is easy. To open the left panel, swipe the left edge. No matter where you are, the left panel always contains menus and navigation. To open the right panel, swipe the right edge. The right panel transforms based on what you're doing. On home, it contains shortcuts to up-to-the-minute personalized information like weather, upcoming appointments, status updates on your current Amazon orders, and new messages. Open the right panel while listening to a song to view the lyrics. Try it while composing.
The stereo speakers sound pretty good, actually.
Or while reading. Open it.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely, I gotta skip past this.
Next, to access your notifications and quick actions, just swivel your wrist. You'll find things like airplane mode, blue.
Okay, let's go past that.
Most Fire phone screens hold more information.
Okay, maybe I'll just skip this tutorial. I didn't know it was gonna be this long. Alright, so we are in. And this is the Fire phone. This is the way it starts. You've got live help from people. Mayday is what it's called. So if I press the Mayday button, I'll get a real person to talk to. And so that's different. How do you get rid of this? Oh, I press the button. Okay, yeah. So you swipe across right here. This is some of my stuff. But this is actually, at just first glance, it's hard not to like this UI. It's not as bad as what I thought it was going to be. It's kind of like a drop-down menu for everything. So we shall see. So I'm going to fire this up. I did a little flick thing so you can kind of see apps, and let's go to apps. So this is going to be interesting. I'm actually going to do a Fire phone challenge. So my iPhones and my believe it or not, my I can't even get it out. I'm trying to avoid I'm actually gonna do this challenge. My Moto X is gonna go away, and I'm gonna use only the Fire phone for as long as I can hold out. I'm going to do this challenge. I'm actually going to take my SIM card out here on camera and put it in, and we're going to launch this Fire phone. And in this video, I'm actually going to go ahead and leave because I have some errands to run. So in this video, I'm going to actually, there's going to be several parts in this video, you'll see. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and cut off this part of the video while I'm putting my SIM in. This does take a nano SIM, which is perfect. And I'm going to actually use the Fire phone, and I'll come back in this same video and tell you how I think about it here on my first impressions a couple hours later. So this is the end of the unboxing. So coming up right now, you're getting ready to see me a few hours later how I feel about this phone. Let me put my pen in here. You're going to see how I feel about this phone here just a short while later after having it for a while. So it's got T-Mobile service there, and it's on Wi-Fi. That's kind of weird already, like tilting it just a little bit to get your signal. But I'm sure in the settings I can keep that on. So we're going to see. Let's give you a hardware tour of this device once again. It's got the animated lock screen, which is just ridiculous. It's really nice. So when I come back here shortly in a second, you're going to see how I feel after using this for a couple of hours. And I'll try to use it as much as I can over the next week or two. No more Android, no more iOS. For now, it's just called my Fire Phone Challenge. And I'll tell you here in a little bit when I come back why I bought this Fire Phone. It had nothing to do with any of what the critics said. It had nothing to do with anyone else's opinions on the phone. I'll tell you why. Stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome back. It's about 5.5 hours later since I started this video. And I've been using the phone and I've got it set up. And I'm going to talk about it. That's got to be just the best thing ever. So, as you can see here, it's on T-Mobile LTE. Works perfectly fine. So, there's a lot that comes along with using a phone like this. And I want to start by saying this. I'm a fair, honest reviewer. I try to tell the truth. Actually, there's no trying about it. I tell the truth in every video that I do. And when I say tell the truth, I mean, this is how I feel about the product. So your experiences will be different. I think and I feel that the only people complaining about this phone are techies. Because a lot of the comments that I read directly from Amazon is that, oh, the bootloader's it's not unlocked, so I can't use it. The UI is horrible. It doesn't have any apps. So to those, just to start with, so what, the bootloader's locked. I don't think the average consumer even knows what that is. As a matter of fact, while I was out earlier, I asked someone, hey, do you know what a locked bootloader is? They looked at me like I was speaking a foreign language when I was at Best Buy in the cell phone department. They were like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So I said, okay, I was just checking to see if you knew if this phone's bootloader was locked. And I, just something to start a conversation with the Best Buy guy as well. Supposedly Geek Squad, whatever. Not knocking Best Buy though. Good company. I choose not to shop there, if I don't have to, because they're anyway. So the average consumer has no clue what a locked bootloader is. The UI. This is got to be one of the fanciest UIs I have ever seen on a device, and a fluid UI at that. So much so that I think it's just as fluid, if not smoother. It's like a WebOS experience. It's very beautiful experience on this phone. So those that say the UI is clunky and is horrible, that's what I say to you. You're too busy focusing on that it's built off of Android. And it's something different. You're looking for Android to appear somewhere, and you just won't get it in a sense. So that's what I say to the people all the techies who are complaining about this phone that say the UI is clunky, it's horrible, there's no apps. Well, if in all actuality, if you're getting this phone, you're an end user, and I use that terminology because a random person walking into a store said, oh, that's cool. And you start to tell them about it and you're selling this phone to them, you won't tell them anything negative about the phone or what your personal thoughts are on the phone. You just need to sell it as is. So if you did want to add Google Play services, you can sideload them. It's possible. But the applications that are on here, when I set this up, I got as many as my applications as I could from Amazon App Store because most of them are there. It's just excluding the Google Play services. Those are the only ones that I couldn't find. So I say to that, you're selling it wrong if you're selling this phone and you think that it needs Google Play services, because it really doesn't. And if you're buying this phone, you're not buying it for Google services if you're an end user. If you're a techie, that's probably one of the reasons that you're buying it, because you have mixed feelings about it and you want to put Google services on there. No. So the overall experience and who's complaining about it and what they're complaining about, I personally think it's probably all techies. And if it's not all techies, it's 99% techies. It has to be. Because what I'm going to say next is probably going to shock a lot of people and say, yeah, whatever. But let me tell you, this phone is in no way garbage like people are saying it is. Which is why I always tell people, get the devices yourself. If you want to hear about something, or if you hear about something and you want to check it out, do not worry about what another person is saying about it. Even though I'm telling you my first hands-on experience with it is fantastic, I might not say that about it next week, because I'm going to actually use this for a week straight. I'm just going to use it straight through like I would every other device. And so far, I'll tell you in a little bit what I've run into. So, but I had to get that out there. I think the people that are complaining about this device are techies. They're 99% techie, and they're looking for something to be wrong with this device. Now, where I agree with them, it's not worth $649 and $699. I don't see it, and that's solely because the battery in here is just, from what I experienced, when you're charging the battery and you're using it, the battery will deplete some. It'll just deplete one and two. It'll charge and it'll use. You're using what you're charging. So, but other than that, the 32 gig isn't worth $699 from my initial experience, solely based on that battery and a few other things. Not very many, but it just has to deal with Google services. So, let's go ahead and get in here. So, this is what you're presented with. So the first issue or thing that I wanted to talk about that I do not like about this phone is kind of a privacy type deal. So let me make sure this is coming across good on camera here. I need to get a little bit more light. I can turn the light and get a little bit more shiny here. So an issue that I need to discuss, and I say it's kind of a privacy deal, because you see how the carousel is here? You can see everything I just did in that application. So when it comes to email, you can see all the emails that are there, which isn't good. You can see the last websites I went to. You can see my text messages. That is the part of the phone. You can see my call log. That is the part of the phone that I do not like. You can see everything I just did right at the bottom. I don't like that. So that's a horrible part of this phone. Privacy is something that, if you're using this, make sure no one's looking over your shoulder, or make sure you're not displaying things that you don't want anybody to see. Other than that, I haven't really experienced bad things with the camera yet. Or excuse me, not the camera, but the battery yet. I just know that when you use it, it's going to deplete while you're charging it. So this isn't a phone that's going to have the strongest battery. I got to say that. So let me open up a browser here and, oops. And let me see if I can tell you the exact battery information. I want to give you the exact the battery that's in here, because I think it's 22, 21. Again, I didn't do much research on this phone. I just said I'm going to finally get this phone and I'm going to use it myself. And I'm tired of listening to everybody say it's a horrible phone, or it's just not good and it's garbage. There's something for everybody. So the battery in this thing is, drum roll, 2400. Wow. Okay. So I'll be honest, I haven't charged this to 100%. It came at about 60. I charged it. I took a trip somewhere. There was a 45-minute to an hour drive, and I charged it before I left to about 71. Then when I got in the car, I was using it and charging it, so I made it to about 77 when I got to my destination. And then I didn't charge it on the way home, and I used it all the way here, and now I'm at about 50% as of this video, but I started off at like 52, I believe. So let me get a close-up for that for you. So to say that the phone is garbage on the battery side, I don't know yet. I'll talk to you frequently through. I'll put up another video. I'll try to do a video like every 3 days until this 7 days passes. I'll do at least 2 more videos on this device in the next 7 days. So what you're faced with here. These are the applications that are on the phone. A lot of these were here. I only downloaded just these few. I downloaded things that would be on my other devices, and pretty much people, almost all of them are there. But when you start to look for Google services, that is where you run into a problem. And because it's not going to have Google services, but you can in fact sideload the Google Play APK, and from there you can download whatever you want to download, or you can sideload every APK if you want to. It is possible. Well, what I have to say about that is, I just think that this phone with the gestures is real sweet. You just don't get any better than that. And I've learned the gestures. It works on the 5 gigahertz band, like I pointed out before. It is just a really nice device. It connects to the 5 gigahertz band. It's nice. I don't see how a person can call this garbage. And I looked at the rating on this phone on Amazon and a lot of other places. Over 2,000 people rate the phone, and it averages a 4-star out of 5. So everyone, those people can't be lying. Now, could they be a little biased because they're full-time Amazon people and users? Of course. But I'm a full-time Amazon user. All of my items come from Amazon now. So and I'm not biased at all. I'm just gonna tell it like I see it. If I hated this phone, I would definitely, and I just pointed out a few things that I don't like. But I just have to tell you that it's not like what it seems. This build quality will remind you of a Nexus 4 or any other device that it has the dual glass slab. So this has been mastered by Sony with the Xperia line. So and this almost feels like a Z1 almost, the build quality, but it's got a 4.7-inch display, stereo speakers, headphone jack up top, 8-megapixel camera, and the camera on here is sick. And I'm going to demo for you right now. The camera is nice. I can't say that it's not. I'm going to take a picture of something, and I hope that it comes across nice on camera. Very nice shutter time. I'll take a picture of something a little bit more vibrant. Let me take a picture of my now powered off Moto X. The autofocus is fast. It is really nice. Now let's look at those pictures. I haven't taken any other pictures but those. So you can see 1 of 2. I haven't taken anything else. These are nice and vibrant. This 8-megapixel camera is really nice, and you can see the clarity and the detail there. This is a nice camera. Now let's go to this other one here that I took. This is a really nice camera. I've heard, oh, the camera's garbage. I don't know. I go by my personal experiences, and I don't think this is a bad camera. I think that's a pretty nice camera. It's nice and detailed. It's a good camera. So that's what I say to that. It has stereo speakers, so it's really loud. There's one there, and there's one there. I listened to I streamed YouTube while I was in the car coming back, and it just sounds phenomenal. It sounds great. So what I'm trying to say is there are plenty of things to like about this device. Now, some people are so caught up in what the critics say, they won't even attempt to buy it. They won't even. Now, right now, it's back up to $450. Is it worth $450? I said it's not worth $650. This model, because that's the price I believe. It might be worth $450, depending on, in my opinion, depending on how I feel about it afterwards. Think about it this way: it's 32 gigs. Most people say I hate 16. That tackles your memory. So 32 gigs is more than enough. Of that 32, you get 24 available to you. It's got all these cool animations, as you can see there. This is just phenomenal. It's beautiful. No other operating system is doing that. This is definitely kind of WebOS type. And this pen in here, I don't know how well that comes across, but this thing looks amazing. It's so sharp. The picture on this screen is a 720 display, 720p display, but it is crystal clear on this side. Crystal clear. So, I don't know why the techies are complaining about it. If you want a stock Android device, go get a stock Android device. This isn't it. This is them trying to sell Amazon. This phone is all about Amazon. It is a regular phone. It has 4G LTE, 3G, 2G. It's unlocked factory, so it takes a nano stand, which makes me happy. There's a lot to like about this phone. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here. This is probably one of the longest videos I've ever done on YouTube. It's going to go down in the record that way probably, but I had to give you a little bit of detail about this phone before you kind of saw like I'm kind of doing my initial impressions all in the same day, because I was actually pretty excited to get this phone. And I'll tell you why I bought it now. I bought this phone, if you made it through the video, I'll tell you why I bought it. I bought this phone because I got it pretty much for about $6. And you're probably going to say, oh my God, I would have got it too if I can get it for $6. Well, what happened is I had some Amazon credits and they were just sitting there. And then it was time to renew my Prime. And the phone had dropped to $189 the other day for 14 hours or something like that. Or it might have been 24 hours, but I don't know how long it was, but it dropped to $189. So if you all know, Prime costs $99. Right? Prime costs $99. And this phone was $189. And then I had tons of credits sitting on my account. I didn't add these credits. They were given to me. And I had enough to cover almost the entire balance of the phone. So it was time to renew my Prime. So I thought I could basically get this phone for a few dollars, if anything. And so that is how I got it for such a cheap price. I got it out of my pocket pretty much, under $7, really. And I said, I'm going to get this phone because there's no reason for me not to get it now. I had these credits on my account. I thought, oh my God, yeah, I can finally grab this phone up and give my viewers, even though this phone is not a brand new phone, it's still relevant. So when it dropped to $189, I had enough to basically cover the device almost. And so out of my pocket, maybe $6. So then the phone comes with Prime. So as soon as I purchased it, my Prime was renewed, got it overnighted to me, and here we are. I get my Prime updated for another year, and I basically get a free phone. Almost. So I'm going to use this for the next week straight. I've powered off every other operating system that I have in the house. Every other phone is off because I have more than one line. So I took the SIM card out of my Moto X, as you saw in the beginning, and this is going to be my daily driver for the next week. So 7 days from today, which is you're watching this on the 10th, so I'll go ahead and do it from the 7th until the 17th, but it's actually going to be the 16th because today's the 9th officially. But the 17th, from the 10th to the 17th, I promise to give you 2 more videos, and I'll tell you exactly how I feel about this phone. And this is the longest video I've ever done, so I'm definitely getting ready to cut it. I'm over almost 30 minutes probably, but hopefully you'll take my opinion about this phone and take your own view on it. If you got some credits or something, then you can basically get the phone for a lot cheaper. Remember, it comes with a year Prime, so you'll basically be renewing your Prime like I did. So, it's Jay Will. I know this is a shock, the Amazon Fire Phone in 2015. So far, I'm really enjoying it. I gotta be honest. I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.